people are asking about whether there was a lack of interest by the ISRO when we're looking at low budget launch vehicles. Also reusing the launch vehicles and their testing was also something that was done. But the bigger question, a scientific question, is there is going to be this umbilical cord between the lander and the rover. So the rover, Pragyan rover, is not going to go beyond 500 meters or in diameter or radius. I'm not sure, of course, you can clarify on that. But why this umbilical cord? Does it have a specific reason? Why not let our rover, traverse into areas farther than 500 meters?
I'll tell you, there is a very specific reason for it. The lunar surface is not even, and that rover is a very small thing. It's a very small thing. Suppose if it goes somewhere and then it comes within the shadow of some rock or somewhere, it won't get the sunlight to give you the energy. And the communication, which needs energy, will not happen. So there is a tether line is there, the umbilical cord is there. I think it is about 20 or 25 meters it is supposed to be. Its basic idea is that when rover comes out of it, whatever experiment it does, that experiment is vital and that must be transmitted back. The best way of transmission is through the tether line. That tether line has got the communication a line with which it will be communicating to the lander, and lander will subsequently send through the either through the propulsion module or through orbiter back to the Earth station. So that is why this tether line is there, that the rover doesn't get lost. And if worse comes to worse, even the tether line could be maneuvered slight bit of to bring the rover somewhere closer by. So there is a particular reason, because on the moon, on the south pole, sunlight, the intensity of the sunlight is very, very vital. And in case if that rover happens to go to an area where there is a shadow, it won't generate power. If it doesn't generate power, it is not going to give you the signals what it you mean, the communications or the data it will not give you. So tether line ensures that you at least get the data what it has acquired there. That doesn't get lost.
Well, also one question that I have for you, Captain, is that there is a saying that there is a huge pressure on other space agencies trying to explain their huge budgets when ISRO does it and good science also at a very cheap rate is what they say. I wouldn't say try to discuss this about, but there are governments asking is how is ISRO able to do it at such a budget, shoestring budget, and that too they get good science and data at the same time. It seems that most of the other space agencies are spending
for that
quite a
you'll
lot.
have to ask Vidya Balan and Akshay Kumar. They'll probably give you a better answer.
No, I'll give you a simpler answer. See, when Chandrayaan project started, that time India was a very restricted economy nation. We were 11th in the world, and or we even far behind. Today we are fifth economic power in the world. So that should not become a sort of point where you don't venture. Now today money is not the limiting point. We have money. Earlier government used to give say 200 or 300 or 500 crore to the ISRO for some particular project because it had got its own limitation. Today they can give thousands of crores of budget. That should become the constraint point. Today economy should not be constrained to any of the projects of these vital things where you don't have direct access. So that should be kept straight in the mind. So Chandrayaan 4 when it happens, or Chandrayaan 5 when it happens, it will not have the same problem what we have faced. That economy thing were of the past. It should not be carried on any further, because if we can do better things with slightly better money, we should aim for that.
Absolutely, Group Captain. There's a Koyal behind you also that's congratulating the ISRO team.
Yes.
All the scientists. Any word of, inspiration, a vote of thanks, a word of congratulations to the team at ISRO?
Absolutely. They see, look, what comes to our eyes, away from the ISRO, it only comes about say 1% or even less than 1%. think of ISRO team of the people who have been managing Chandrayaan. They must be 24/7. Last night they might not have been able to sleep. Many of the scientists, they continue checking up the backup system, what are the alternate system, what are the standby systems. So they must have been onto this for months, years. And hats off to them, full of praise, full of compliments. Congratulations to the entire team of ISRO who has been on this task, and wish them all the best in the days to come also, because very important phase has just started today with the decoupling. Now ISRO scientists must be sitting on their desk trying to do everything that they have to do and finish it before tomorrow, before the deboosting happens. They are the many of you may not know. This entire phase has been divided into 10 phases. First phase was the lift off. Second phase was the lunar insertion. Third phase was the moon-borne operation. So that has not finished. Today, the separation has happened. This is only phase 5. Now hereafter, deboosting tomorrow when it happens, that is the phase 6, and there are a hell lot of measures that to be taken with the deboost. So there is a plethora of activities that will happen. That is how these phases are there. Pre-landing phases on the final pathway that will happen. That is phase 7. Landing phase is phase 8, and immediately after landing, phase 9 and 10 are scheduled, into which phase 10 is the one when the proper communication will establish with the ground station. Thereafter, everything will be controlled by ISRO ground station, their communication room, and then thereafter, that is the end of the entire phase. So these, right now, we are only at phase 5. 5 phases are still to go. Plenty of things are to happen. ISRO
Absolutely,
scientists are
absolutely,
still
Group Captain. If Somnath's reaction is anything to go by, the ISRO chairman said that it's only the last 1 hour before the landing when I will start sweating. So it's nothing, because even with Chandrayaan-2, it was only the last 1 hour. I think Varghese has one question for you, Group Captain.
Well,
Go ahead,
Captain,
go ahead.
yeah, this question is like, ISRO first concentrated only on the upper atmosphere and, placing satellites. We were in a polar satellite situation. Then we went to geosynchronous satellite. But now we are thinking beyond. We are going interplanetary. And, we have rival nations like or rival space agency like ESA and NASA, and of course the Chinese and us all competing for this. But what is the philosophy that will drive our interplanetary exploration? Because the others have it clear. They want science, they want to actually explore for minerals. But what is it that is driving ISRO for interplanetary kind of explorations? Because we have moved away from that, placing satellites, trying to help the situation on the ground, and it's gone beyond that. So what's the philosophy that drives our interplanetary exploration?
Good, Varghese, you have asked me this question. Actually, I'm writing an article onto this exploration of moon. Some time back I had told you that 36 of the SpaceX satellites fell down because they couldn't achieve their orbital velocity. Now think of it. Moon is Earth's satellite, and this has been going around in its designated orbit for last, you can call it millions or billions of years. It has not deviated. What happens if you reduce the mass of the moon? If you try to explicate the minerals, helium, or whatever you want to bring it there, if you want to take out those things from there, the mass of the moon will reduce. What happens to its orbital stability? Right now, no one has known. I'm writing this paper. This will take another 4-5 days for me to finish. So this is one thought that the entire world will have to give, because moon could either deviate out or it could be drawn towards the Earth. If that happens, what will happen to the Earth? These are the things we must think of.